Hi, Dale. Just want to make sure everything works for you.
Absolutely, Jean, I'm here.
All right, we'll get started in a couple of minutes. Thanks.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you so much.
Councillor Dunham, are you going to turn your camera on when we start? Are you able? Okay. Don't have to do it right now. Okay, thanks. Okay, we'll call this regular council meeting to order for June the 10th. It's 3 p.m. and I will ask Councillor Wing to please deliver the land acknowledgement.
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. The town of Innisfail acknowledges that we are meeting on Treaty 7 territory, the ancestral and traditional territory of the Blackfoot Confederacy, Kainai, Piikani, and Siksika, as well as the Tsuut'ina First Nation and Stoney Nakoda First Nation. We acknowledge that this territory is home to the Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3, within the historical Northwest Métis homeland. We acknowledge the many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit who have lived on and cared for these lands for generations. We are grateful for the traditional knowledge keepers and elders who are still with us today and those who have gone before us. We make this acknowledgement as an act of reconciliation and gratitude to those whose territory we reside on.
Right, thank you. And we'll move into 2.1. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Yes, for council consideration, switching of 7.1 and 7.2, just for flow, please, council, and also in camera item 12.3, organizational scan, which should be MGA 197.2 and FOIP 24.1, please.
All right, thank you. Can I please have someone make a motion and adopt the agenda as amended? Councillor Maceras.
Thank you. I'd like to make that motion.
All right, thank you. All in favor? All right, carried. Thank you. And we'll move into 3.1, the regular council minutes for May the 27th. When you're ready, I would please have someone make a motion that we adopt those minutes as presented. Councillor Bates.
I'll move those minutes as presented.
Okay, thank you. Are there any changes needed? No? All in favor? All right, carried. Thank you. And we'll move into 3.2, the agenda and priorities meeting minutes for June the 3rd. Please have someone make a motion to adopt those. Councillor Harrison.
I so move.
Okay, thank you. Any changes? All in favor? Okay, carried. Thank you. All right, we'll move into 4.1 with CEO Becker's report.
Thanks, Mayor Barclay. Hello, council. Just a verbal report for your consideration, council. I'll have more detail of my travels, I guess you could say, at the next meeting. The verbal report will include I was on vacation on Thursday, May 30th, just away on personal items there. Also attended a regional CAO function on the evening of May the 30th. So once again, CAOs in the region are making an effort to coordinate a non-work relationship building. On the week of May 27th, administration largely, with my support, was focused on development and land. Those discussions will come out appropriately. Also attended the Diamond 7 grand opening on June 1st with the large member contingent of council. And I have been away, have attended the Canadian Association of Municipal Administrators Conference, which was held in Banff June 2nd to 5th, and then attended with council members the FCM conference in Calgary June 6th to 9th. And that's my report.
All right, thank you. Could I please have someone make a motion to accept CEO Becker's report as presented? Councillor Heistad.
I'll make that motion to accept CEO Becker's report.
All right, are there any questions for him? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. And we'll move into the council action control, item 4.2. It's going to ask CEO Becker, I keep asking, has there been any progress with TELUS?
No, Mayor Barclay at the council, we saw recently there's a new appointee for TELUS for the area. I did reach out, have not responded. I'll do one more effort. If not, we'll maybe empower council to pose some questions for an engagement in the future.
Okay, thank you. If there's no further questions or discussion, I would ask somebody please make a motion that we accept the council action control as information. Councillor Wing?
Mayor Barclay, I'll make that motion.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? All right, carried. And we'll go to 4.3, so request for decision. This is an agenda item I put on there. So as you know, there's annual awards coming up at Alberta Municipalities Conference this fall, and I would like us to have a resolution. Well, we need one for the applications of 2 awards. So one would be the dedicated CAO award, and the second award would be the dedicated Senior Municipal Team Award. I feel that in both cases, we're very fortunate to have at the helm both our senior leadership team and CEO Becker, of course. And so I am going to make a motion that Town of Innisfail Council, that we submit the nomination forms into Alberta Municipalities for those awards. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, all in favor? Okay, carried. We'll move on to 4.1 with Director Kennedy and Community Box on town lands.
Thanks, Mayor Barclay. Yeah, so this is just bringing back to you from the draft policy presented back in May 27th. From that meeting, council did table the land book exchange policy at that time, as well as to engage the Little Free Library Group on some feedback for that policy. We did reach out and provided us some information or some questions and comments. Based on those comments, we did provide here a revised policy with a bit of the summary below a few of the items. So the title was revised to be a little more broad and to cover all exchange opportunities like books, seeds, puzzles, games. The policy is not explicit to the Little Free Library, so we removed any reference to the Little Free Library. Item 7 of the policy, the town may have input on the size, material, color. So this is recommended not to construct before submission of the application. We've also expanded the section to also include a site plan with approximate dimensions to property lines or permanent structures, just for a little more detail. Item 9, we have revised to specify a 2-week review period and added the town will complete a 1-call and a request for an on-site meeting with the applicant within that 2-week time frame. Additional time may be required depending on the locates being completed, as well as scheduling for the on-site meeting. Item 16, we have added any concerns from the residents regarding reading material or any other material will be submitted to the CAO for review. Within Schedule A, Item 12, this section is revised to review the steward agrees to hold harmless the town for any claims, damages, liabilities arising from the installation operation of the community box. Just a little background back on the previously presented information. So the program itself started back in 2021. The first location was approved in Upper Aspen. Since then, the town has grown, and the interest in the continued expansion of the number of community boxes throughout the town. To date, there are 5 boxes located on town lands, 4 boxes on private lands, and 3 boxes within local communities. There has been a request for or interest in regards to 2 more additional boxes on town lands. This program is community driven and maintained by local residents and businesses. The town is looking for formalized procedure as well as an agreement between the boxes through the policy and provide clear understanding of the responsibilities and maintenance of the community boxes. So I'll take any questions in regards to our revisions.
Okay, Thank you, Director Kennedy. Just have someone please make the recommended motion to begin with.
I'll
Councillor
move that
Bates.
council approves the community box on town lands policy 2024-002.
All right, thank you. Anyone have any discussion, feedback? No? Okay, all in favor? Okay, carried. Thank you. And we will move into 6.1 with Director Vickers and first quarter financials.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Barclay. So we do have before council here our 2024 first quarter financials. Each year we do present quarterly financials for council to review and approve, and this is for the period of January 1st to March 31st. We have reviewed all the financial information being presented, and we do believe this to be a true representation of the state of financials as of March 31st, 2024. So the financials, we're going to look at the revenue first. So the financials show an overall revenue of 14% compared to that 25% quarterly measurable. When we look at 2023 first quarter, we're actually 3% higher this year than we were last year at that same time. So we do like to just note a few revenues that are a little bit higher or lower than what we like to see. So both business licenses and animal licenses, we do collect the majority of these dollars at the end of last year as people prepay for their next year's licenses. Tax revenue is sitting at 0. We actually don't recognize that until the second quarter. So when I present the second quarter financials, you'll see that information there. Sale of land is sitting at 32%, so a little bit higher than that 25 measurable, and we have sold 2 lots as of the end of that date, 1 lot being in the industrial area and 1 residential lot. Other revenue from own sources is sitting at 84%. There is 1 late invoice in there that is generating large amounts of penalties. So while it's sitting at 84% right now, as we look into that invoice, those revenue may or may not be voided out. Donations is sitting at 1,377%. This is primarily due to some donations into the fire hall. So we did receive a $19,000 donation from AHS. And sorry, I didn't put the number in there, but it's just over $8,000 from the Innisfil Fire Rescue Society, and that is to go towards firefighting supplies. So when we move to expenses, we're sitting at 17% of budget compared to that 25% measurable for the first quarter. And when we look back to 2023, that's the same percentage we were at last year. So some of the expenses to note are our salaries. We always like to look at salaries and compare them to the quarterly. So we're sitting at 23%, which is right on line with that 25% benchmark. Membership fees are at 37%. It is a bit low as it is this time of year, but it is higher than that 25% because we do tend to pay those at the beginning of the year. Telecommunications is also a little bit higher, and primarily the fire dispatch fees we pay at the beginning of the year go into that account. Insurance, we did see a 6% increase, of $13,677 for insurance, so that is full. The only time we'll be adding future money to this is when we buy new equipment and we have to add new items to the insurance. So that could go up slightly before the end of the year. Land purchase is at 110%, so that is just realtor and lawyer costs for land sales. And then gas utilities is sitting at 35%, which is a little bit higher than that 25, but it is the winter, which we do tend to use a little bit more. All other revenue and expenses we feel are within the budgeted approvals for the quarter. And this is also the first quarterly financial reporting that we're reporting councillor expenses. So through this year in our budget cycle, through the 2024 budget cycle, we did create councillor expenses and gave you guys kind of your own budget so you can choose to do what you want with your professional development. So we'll be adding this to the quarterly financials for everyone to review, and so that's just where everyone's expenses are at. So I'll take any questions if council has any.
Does anyone have any questions so far? No? No? Are you going to keep going, Director Vickers, through the?
I wasn't planning on, but
Okay.
I can if you had some specific questions about some lines, or we can go over some capital projects if you'd like. They are attached for your review.
Maybe if you can just kind of quickly go through the capital projects. And I
Okay, so
guess,
you-
sorry, maybe more so like
Yes, of
what's,
course.
I'm guessing something like the town office fire system, is that partially complete? Like whether that's complete or partial complete or?
So
that
Mayor
kind of
Barclay,
thing.
we have been working on that. We've had a company come in and do a bit of fixing internally. We should see some final numbers for you here soon. Hopefully by the end of this year, that project will be completed. So we did add the project numbers down the side, so you can kind of reference what year those projects started in, as in each project starts with a year and then a number, right? So you can see under admin, we have 2 carryover from 2023 and then 3 new ones. So is there any specific project anyone would like some questions on?
No, I wouldn't mind if you went down through the actuals and like
Sure.
tell us what's not complete.
Okay.
Some are obvious, but others are not.
Okay, so the fire system has not been fully implemented yet into the town. It will happen later this year, as well as the town office generator preparation. So we are, our facility manager is working with a company right now to do that. So the office windows has not been completed yet here in the office. However, the town office committee rooms has been completed. We're waiting on the furniture to be installed. Our alarm upgrades is underway across the entire organization. So under protective services, we have the fire hall replacement and repairs. Director Jenkins, do you know? It is complete now, so we're just waiting on final billing. The 3 new ones for 2024 in protective services has not yet been completed. Okay, so under planning and operational services, we have the Eastgate lift station, sorry. Is that completed?
Yeah, it's completed. We just have one maintenance on the landscaping to be completed.
Okay, would you want to go
want me
through
to go
just your
through them?
couple little ones? Yeah.
Sure. So the Southwest Industrial Design Construction, we'll have one more progress payment to finalize with that, and that's with the finishing of the paving and the landscaping, the boulevards. Southwest Industrial Solar Design, that's just currently underway in with AUC for that, as well as the ministerial letter. We'll have that process going as well. 2023 surface improvements, that is complete, that project. 46th Ave infrastructure, again, that one had some minor carryover, but I believe landscaping is being completed next week. And then the paving is in the 2024 program. 40th Street Close, that project's completed as well. Highway 54, that was just the design portion of that, that's the 5,000. Electrical upgrades at the Public Works yard, I believe, I'm not sure where that's at. Not started yet. 2024 project, sanitary force main. We have gone through the design. We'll be able to provide council with a more detailed update on that one soon here. 2024 service improvements, 42nd Street. Sorry, 46th Street is sidewalk replacement and concrete work is completed. They are working on trails right now, so that project is continuing on. The radiant heater hasn't started yet, I don't believe. Skid steer purchase is done. New pickup purchases, those are complete. Well, 4 of the 6, 4 we have picked up. The 2 police units are still on delivery. The water truck, an update on that one is going to be put on hold. We are having a hard time finding a secondhand unit for that price. So we are just kind of waiting to see if something comes up, but that could be a carryover next year and budget something a little more appropriate. Side-by-side is complete. Snow blade attachment is complete. Parks, Diamond 7 upgrades are completed. Max Playground is complete. Not sure why that's not. We'll have to look at the final cost of that one. Cannon Park is completed. Park Shop water heater and the radiant heater replacement, I believe, I haven't started yet, as well as the makeup air unit. Any questions so far?
I have a question.
Councillor Heisted?
Yeah, just the windows, like, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole. Are those the older windows in the older side of the building, I'm assuming?
Yes, Mayor Barclay through to Councillor Heisted. Yeah, so will be all the windows on that side of the building.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen is the frame themselves are maintaining the same, and we're just,
The window?
the window themselves will be reinstalled. Yeah.
Triple, is that a triple pane then, or is it a double?
I'm not quite sure if it's,
Oh, okay.
so we're getting quotes now at this time, yeah.
Thanks so much.
Okay. Okay, would you want to go through the last couple?
So energy conservation measures, so that project is essentially closed at this point. Building condition assessments, I believe we're finishing up a couple, so there may still be some costs to go in there. Senior center air conditioning is there and installed, so we probably just haven't had the bill from Henday. Curling rank mechanical slab hasn't started yet. New floor machines also have not been purchased as of yet. Construction of the 4 units on Napoleon, as everyone knows, they're well underway. And then the southwest residential design, still working towards getting that started. Arena sound system, that project is out for RFP right now. Arena lobby and flooring has been awarded. The work will start probably into August. And then for the pool, essentially still waiting for the results of some of the investigation at the pool. LLC roof repairs, they're still doing some work there. And then the LLC water tank, that will happen here shortly.
Right, thank you so much for all that. Can I please have someone make the motion?
I'll make that
Oh,
motion, Mayor
sorry.
Barclay.
Sorry, Councillor Dunham. You disappear every now and again from the screen, so thank you for the motion. Anybody have any further questions for administration on this? Okay, all in favor? Okay, carried, thank you. Okay, and we'll go into 6.2 with Director Vickers on a budget adjustment.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Barclay. So we are here to provide some budget adjustments to our 2024 budget. We do have 3 kind of different motions inside this report. So the first one, we do have the motion from our 2023 surplus allocation. There was $259,225 to go to the operating reserve to be funded towards future projects. So that's what we have here. So we do have some carryover operating projects in the amount of $58,000. And those are listed there. We do have the pedestrian safety review for $30,000, the independent assessor to support our AUC application for $45,000, community safety staffing level review for $70,000, Catalyst Technologies. This is an upgrade to our GIS software for $32,625, as well as some arena repair and maintenance invoices that were submitted late that we needed to attribute back to 2023 in the amount of $23,600. At the May 21st council meeting, administration did present council with a motion which did get approved for council to approve the development of a bike park facility master plan in the amount of $30,000 to be funded from the general operating reserve. And again, that report was approved by council at that time. And that was to identify a partnership opportunity with the Innisfil Rotary Club to develop a bike park facility through the development of a master plan, and the cost of that bike park would be $30,000. Further, after that meeting, the Innisfil Rotary Club has passed a motion to provide $15,000 towards the cost of this project. We do have a new request that was not a part of a previous council motion in here. So the 2024 operating budget was originally $45,000 for equipment repairs and maintenance at the arena. These funds are used to maintain the ice plant equipment in the facility. Current maintenance plans had included the overhaul of one compressor, and that's approximately $12,000. However, the investigation has identified the need to overhaul both units this year. So in addition to other scheduled maintenance and anticipated costs, a budget increase of $10,000 is needed for the 2024 budget. So if you look under the financial impacts, those are all the different accounts that will need to be impacted based on those requests. There will be no effect on our contingency, and it will remain at zero. And we have one reserve account that is being touched, and that is our operating reserve. So it does have an old balance. This included our surplus transfer of $598,358. We are changing that through a negative, we're pulling money out of $284,255, which will leave us with a new balance of $314,133. So I'll take any questions if council may have.
All right, thank you, Director Vickers. Could I please have someone make the recommended motion? Councillor Maceros?
Thank you. I move that council approves the recommended budget adjustments.
Okay, thank you. Anyone have any questions for Director Vickers? Councillor Hystad?
No, I think this all makes sense to myself, and I appreciate the Rotary putting in $15,000 for that study. Thank you.
Okay, any further questions? Nope. Okay, all in favor? All right, carried. Thank you. And we will move into 6.3, the water conservation policy with Director Vickers.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Barclay. So we do have a draft water conservation rebate program policy attached for your review and approval. So on the April 22nd council meeting, administration did bring forward a report to council regarding our water conservation rebate options. And at that meeting, council directed administration to bring back a draft policy expanding our toilet rebate program to include new water, some of these new water conservation rebate options. So we did develop that, and a draft is attached to this report for your review and approval. So we did create a set of standards that generally apply to all of the rebate options with some minor changes. So rebates will be available on a first-come, first-served basis until the annual rate available for each initiative is exhausted. They will be open up with a new budget cycle on January 1st of each year. So we'll determine through the budget cycle how many will open up on the next year, and then January 1st, that program will be open up. We will create a wait list for each initiative. The maximum spots available on the wait list are what next year's allotments are. So let's say, for example, the toilet rebate program, we allow 15 per year. We would only allow a wait list of 15, and then after that, we would just tell people that they would just have to check in going forward. We don't want to have a wait list of 1,000 people and not have any opportunity for new people or anything like that. The approved rebates will only be credited to the applicant's utility account, and that means that if their property taxes or utility account charges are in arrears, they would not be eligible for this rebate. They must be within the town of Innisfail limits and also serviced by the municipal water supply. So that would mean that there would be a handful of properties who are not serviced by our water supply who would not be eligible for this program. And rebates are only eligible to items purchased on or before, or on or after the due date or the date this policy comes into force. So the rebate options, full rebate details are included in the attached policy, but this is what administration has decided. So for a low flow toilet, we did do $100 per toilet, but with max of 4 per account. So not per year as it was before, but per account. With the thought is the rebate details are you must replace a low flow toilet or a high flow toilet with a low flow toilet. So once you've replaced all your toilets with low flow, you don't get the rebate anymore. Low flow shower heads, so we would offer, the rebate would be 50% up to $50, max 4 per account. Appliances, there are 3 different appliances that you would be eligible for. It's $100 per appliance. You would only be eligible for max 1 per year. Rain barrels, it's $50 per rain barrel, and that would be max 2 per account. So not per year, they would only be granted 2 in its entirety of the account. Mulch, 50% up to $100, and it's $100 per year. We would be looking at the drought-tolerant trees and shrubs. We would do $50 per item, and the maximum is 2 per account. Drought-tolerant ground cover and turf, it is 50% up to $200, and the maximum is $200 per year. Soaker hoses is 50% up to $50, max 2 per account. And then we did do non-residential toilet fixtures, so we did change this just from a commercial and changed it to non-residential. However, we did put in there that this wouldn't include institutional, so not the hospital or things like that. But, and we changed that to max 4 per year, so not 4 per account, as in some places could have many, many toilets and urinals, and we would want to encourage them all to be replaced over time with low flow low-flow fixtures. So the application process is very similar for each rebate with some minor changes. So we recommend that they complete the application form first, and then if approved, purchase and install the item. They don't have to do that. You can purchase it first. We will only recommend that if you want to be guaranteed a refund, that you make sure you've applied first and guaranteed that you're going to get that refund or not. So then if you do approve, purchase and install your item, provide a copy of the purchase receipt. You must provide proof of the item eligibility, and then provide proof, show a photo showing the installed item. We did also leave the original toilet rebate program in there as one option. So you can still take your old toilet to the transfer station, dispose of it for free. That is still in there, but nowadays we have figured, people have told us that when the plumber comes, they just install the toilet and then they take the old toilet away and then doesn't let them have that opportunity. So we did kind of change that up. So currently we have no budget in 2024 for an expanded water rebate program outside of our current toilet rebate program. As the utility department is funded entire from utility fees and offset from the utility reserve, we are not recommending to identify a budget for 2024. We don't have that opportunity to raise revenue right now. So we are looking at leaving it as is right now. We'll go through and we'll see how the program does throughout this year, and we'll bring a report to council through our budget discussions to see what next year's budget should look like. However, we did do a proposed budget of what we believe it should look like, and so we do have that here. So we did do 15 rebates available for each item. We do have to identify the maximum rebate eligible for each rebate, because that is what someone could get. So we are looking at an approximate budget of $25,500, and that would give, again, those 15 rebates for each of those items. Administration is currently working on a water conservation webpage. The page will house all of our water conservation marketing information, as well as this new rebate program and corresponding application form. An application form, both online as well as a fillable PDF, will be developed over the next week, and that will be used to administer the program. The town will advertise the new water conservation webpage and the new rebate program through the town's social media accounts and other town regular communication methods.
Right, thank you, Director Vickers. Could I please have someone make the recommended motion? Councillor Harrison?
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. I move that Council approves policy 2024-003, Water Conservation Rebate Program.
All right, thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Councillor Bates?
Yeah, I have a couple. I think it was indicated that we don't have a budget for this year. We'll see how it goes. I guess that concerns me a little bit, that once we put this out there, that we'll have applicants, and then if we don't have a budget and don't kick it in, then how it goes might not be representative of how it might go next year. I don't know. It's just kind of a bit of a chicken and an egg there. I wanted to make sure I heard properly the toilet disposal. So if somebody changes it themselves, they can still get a disposal down at the waste train?
Yes, Mayor Barclay through to Councillor Bates. Yes, we did leave two options for the residential toilet rebate, where that you could yourself still take your old toilet to the transfer station for free and bring a stamped receipt back to us, and we would accept that. However, we did do a second option where if you take a photo of your toilet before and a photo of the new installed toilet, we'll accept that as well.
Yeah, that's the part I heard. I just want to make sure, because lots of people, I think, do change them themselves. Yeah, and then it's really hard to tell, like even next year's budget. I assume most home construction in the last, I have no idea how many years, have not had the old big volume toilets, but I have no idea.
Yes, Mayor Barclay through to Councillor Bates, it explicitly says in the policy that new construction homes are not eligible for those because they already would have those low flow toilets installed.
But what I meant was just to try and anticipate, it would be good to know when construction practice probably almost became that. I don't know. Anyway, no,
Mayor Barclay through to
answered
Councillor
my
Bates,
questions.
just with regards to the budget, I didn't intend to, so the number of rebates I would like to keep at 15 with we're just going to pull from the utility reserve to create a budget anyway, so we can just do that at the end of the year once we know how much we actually need to fund the program.
Yeah, if anything, I think it's light, but
Okay.
Councillor Wing?
Thank you, Mayor Barclay, and through to Director Vickers. So I'm still in the dark here. So we will offer rebates this year, or we will not offer rebates this year?
So Mayor Barclay through to Councillor Ring, sorry. So yes, we would offer rebates. We're not going to identify a specific budget, but the number of rebates allowed is what I would like to propose at 15.
Any further questions, Councillor Maceros?
Thank you, Mayor Barclay, through to Director Vickers. I just have a question around the wording of the number of rebates available. So for instance, the low-flow toilet, if we get an application for a rebate for only one toilet, does that use up that rebate?
So Mayor Barclay through to Councillor Mazzaro. So yes, so there is 15 rebates. You would be eligible for up to 4 toilets. So when we're trying to determine a budget, we have to say that we would have to allow the maximum number of rebates. So that would take up 1 rebate if you only got 1 toilet.
Is there another way of doing that, or?
We could, if we give out rebates and we don't know how much you want, it just doesn't. Okay, let me think about this. How can I explain it? So if we say the rebates are 15 and it's $400 maximum rebate, but you only get 100, we could further open up that $300 later in the year once that's final. But if we don't know how many you're going to purchase until you submit all your receipts in, we can't open that up until we know.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Councillor Hystad?
Yeah, I think the number of 15 is going to be appropriate. I don't think people are going to be banging down our doors because we got new shitters or new toilets, bath toilets. But the thing is I was going to say is like the picture itself, like if you have a receipt and a picture of the new one, makes sense, right? Like that's how I look at it. But that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Director Vickers, I'm wondering about the maximum of 4 per account. Like why 4? Maybe why not 2? I'm just thinking, you know, that the program gets taken up by 4 households, possibly. And,
Well, there would be 15 households, they could each have 4, so in actuality, we could have.
Okay.
Yeah.
But 4 seems a lot.
I think that's, Mayor Barclay, that's just kind of the common number. We can put that down to 2,
Okay.
Absolutely. Do you think 4, I think for the non-residential, 4 makes sense though?
Well, that
because they
makes sense,
could be
non-res, but I
much
think
more.
residential too
Okay.
would make more sense. I think low flow shower heads too make sense.
Okay,
I'm curious about the eligible ground cover and lawn alternatives. So this is mostly, I believe, ground cover. So I'm curious about clover, or is that under,
let me just go to it here.
like there's Dutch white clover?
Yes, Mayor Barclay,
Okay.
you could put clover in instead
Okay.
of grass, and that would qualify under here.
Okay. And I don't know about some of the rest of it. Okay. That would just be a suggestion from me that we don't, you know,
Yep, absolutely. We can amend the,
4 per household's a
Yep.
lot.
I can amend the budget or the program to change that down to 2 for residential toilets.
Yeah, it's up to council what they want to see, but I would like to see that reduced somewhat. Councillor Hystad?
Yeah, I was all right with the 4. Like you're not going to have a ton of people coming in changing 4 toilets out, but you may have somebody that has 4. So, you know, like I think the data's there, you have the numbers. I think we're splitting hairs. But it's up to everybody here. Thanks.
Okay, so we have a motion. All in favor of the motion? Okay, carried, thanks. And we will move on to 6.4 LGFF Memorandum of Agreement with Director Vickers.
Yes, perfect. Thank you, Mayor Barclay. So we have received a memorandum of agreement for both our local government fiscal framework capital program as well as the operating program. So LGFF, or the Local Government Fiscal Framework, is Alberta's primary funding mechanism for providing local governments with predictable infrastructure and operating grant support. So LGFF replaced the MSI that we previously received, and that was in place from 2007 to 2023. As we said, LGFF has two components, both a capital funding and an operating funding agreement, and they both have their own separate MOAs. The attached MOAs are effective as back to April 1st, 2024, and will be in effect until March 31st, 2034. They must be signed by both the CEO, which is the chief elected official, and the CAO, the chief administrative officer. These MOAs govern the funding under the program, with the payment of the LGFF allocations will not be released until these MOAs are signed, returned, and other payment conditions are met. So this is kind of a requirement. On December 15th, the allocations for the 2024 operating and 2024 and 2025 capital were released. So I do have those allocations listed below. In 2020, the Municipal Affairs Populations List was discontinued following the repeal of the Determination of Population Regulation. With the approval of the new Municipal Census Regulation in 2023, the Municipal Affairs Populations List has now been resumed. So the 2024 and 2025 calculations are based on the 2019 Municipal Affairs Population List, with further years being calculated on our 23 population list. LGFF funding for Calgary and Edmonton, as well as the total LGFF funding pot for other local governments, must be communicated by September 30th, 2 years in advance. So the provincial government anticipates that when this information is released by September 30th, individual allocations should be announced just several weeks later. So the 2026 LGFF allocation should be released this fall. Hopefully we'll know this before we kind of talk about our budget, so we know the next 2 years of LGFF funding for capital projects. So I do have two motions here. I do need a motion specific for each agreement.
All right, thank you. Could I please have someone make the first motion? Councillor Maceros?
Mayor Barclay, I move that council authorizes the chief elected official and the chief administrative officer to sign the local government fiscal framework capital program memorandum of agreement.
All right, thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Director Vickers? Okay, all in favor? Okay, carried. And please have someone make the second motion. Councillor Bates?
Move that council authorizes the chief elected official and the chief administrative officer to sign the local government fiscal framework operating program memorandum of agreement.
Perfect, thank you. Any questions? All in favor? Okay, carried, thank you. And we will move into community services. So we'll go to 7.1, which it is now FCSS, and would ask Manager Mackenzie to come forward.
So just here today to provide council with the opportunity for discussion with respect to joining the Red Deer and District FCSS multi-municipal operating agreement. Administration, so myself and Megan met with Red Deer and District FCSS staff on March 3rd. As the Red Deer and District FCSS board requested their administration invite the town of Innisfil to consider joining the regional FCSS model. Members of the Red Deer and District FCSS board, along with Red Deer Municipal Administration, presented to council on May 6th regarding the renewal of the multi-municipal operating agreement in December of this year. Currently, 6 municipalities within Red Deer County participate in the regional FCSS model, which funds preventative social programming initiatives through centralized application system and a board decision-making model. During this presentation, council was provided information regarding the FCSS funding guide, Red Deer and District FCSS annual budget, the provincial and municipal cost share breakdown through municipal workers, community-led grants, and the funding cycle. The presentation included benefits of operating within the multi-municipal agreement, as well as challenges. The delegation indicated that the new agreement may include provisions for new members to join in the future. The town of Innisfil administration at this time recommends continuing to explore opportunities for increased collaboration within the region without formally joining the Red Deer and District FCSS multi-municipal agreement. This will maintain the provision of preventative social programming within the community operating in a similar capacity to current efforts. FCSS funding received from the province is currently utilized for the funding of external organizations, which is through allocation recommendations from the FCSS Advisory Board to Council, and the provision of internal staff and programs. And so anticipated outcomes would be that we continue to administer FCSS funding through the town's FCSS board and internal staff.
All right, thank you, Manager McKenzie. Could I please have someone make the recommended motion? Councillor Maceros?
Thank you, Mayor.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Dunham. Sorry.
I'd like to move that council directs administration to continue to explore opportunities to engage and collaborate with regional FCSS partners outside of the Red Deer and District FCSS multi-municipal operating agreement.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Manager McKenzie? Councillor Wing.
Just one quick question, Mayor Barclay, and through to Manager McKenzie. Is it possible then for community organizations outside of Innisfil to apply to us for FCSS funding if they are providing programs for Innisfil residents? So for example, the Central Alberta Women's Emergency Shelter in Red Deer.
So we have previously provided funding to organizations that may operate outside of town boundaries but are providing service to Innisfil residents in some capacity, assuming that they can show us that through the grant application process.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, all in favor? Okay, carried. Thank you. Thank you for coming. And we will move into 7.2 now, the MDP Community Engagement Survey, and I'll ask Director Jenkins to introduce this item.
Sure. So a little while back, council members who also participate on the MDP committee had expressed a desire for some of the survey results that have been collected through the municipal development plan process to be presented to council for information, just because they felt that there was some valuable feedback in those survey responses that may or may not be directly relevant to the MDP, but would be good for general awareness from council. So Gordon Pollavy will provide an overview of that feedback.
This report has an attachment of what we heard report that summarizes the feedbacks from the community with respect to the phase 1 engagement, which was started from, the process started from September 2023. And the engagement of MDP has 3 phases, which, and we are now with the second phase. The objective of the first phase was to inform the public about the planning process and consult emergent issues and priorities. 2 survey forms were distributed, meant to reach 2 audiences, short form for the public and long form to council committee members and other stakeholders like major business owners. Each survey form has slightly different questions, with the short form survey meant to be more generalized compared to the long form survey with more specific questions as well. We received 253 short form responses and 45 long form responses, the summary of which, along with the elaborate comments, are attached in the report, the What We Heard report. This phase of the engagement allowed the understanding of community's priorities, and further discussions with stakeholders confirmed the ideas and provided with reasons and directions. It also helped arrive at a preferred vision statement for the municipal development planning, and that resonated well with most respondents. We received some priorities from the committee members for Innisfil, and they were the priorities from the committee members were increase in retail services and businesses, improvement in recreational facilities and programming for all ages. Number 3, housing affordability and diversity. Number 4, improvement of walking and cycling infrastructure. Number 5, improvement in parks and open spaces. Number 6, improvement in safety and policing. Number 7, increase in job opportunities. Number 8, downtown revitalization. Number 9, access to affordable and efficient transportation. These were the general themes within the responses that were received. So currently, in the phase 2, we are just, with the help of the priorities, we are discussing the framework of the plan and discussing more on the specific goals and objectives with the feedback and the themes we have received. Within the current phase, which is the second phase, a third survey is also being circulated, which is available online for community members to complete and closes June 28th, 2024. And this information from that survey will also be collected in a similar format, which is within the attachment.
All right, thank you very much. Could I please have someone make the recommended motion? Councillor Bates.
Yes, I'll move that we accept this report as information.
Okay, thank you.
And I do have a comment. If that's...
Okay, Councillor Bates.
Yeah, so I think I was one that asked for it, and I think it's good information. There's a lot of raw data here and detail, and as long as I think you look at it, that there's the odd comment in there, just like what you'd see on Facebook. But I think in general, it's good for us to have it. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's excellent feedback for sure. And any other questions? No, okay. Is Councillor Dunham, does he have any questions? Because I can't see him. Oh, there he is. Okay. All right. Okay, all in favor? All right, carried. Thank you so much for your work on this and look forward to more. Manager Shaw.
Mayor and Council, administration has received an application to amend property from multifamily residential or R3 to single-family residential or R1B. This is along 56th Street at 5140. So the applicant has indicated that they wish to build a single detached dwelling on this property. Unfortunately, the R3 district does not allow for the construction of new single detached dwellings. Therefore, he has made an application to amend the land use district to accommodate this type of activity. So today would be first reading of a bylaw and setting up a public hearing date for this application. And in the background report, administration has indicated that it does not favor the application from the standpoint that we have a limited amount of already zoned R3 district land, and so we feel it's important to be able to hold on to that R3 district land. And you see a table located in the report as well, which identifies those lands which are currently designated as R3 that are either serviced or subdivided, or not serviced or subdivided, but have been identified in plan, statutory plans that the town has prepared. So council can give consideration at this time for first reading. We do believe that it's a valuable community consultation practice to be able to incorporate input from the community, and so we can certainly go through the process, and then council has the ability after the public hearing to then consider whether or not they wish to adopt this proposed change. The applicant also did indicate or did include additional letters of support for the proposition. We haven't identified the location of those individuals, but we have identified that there were some supplementary information included with the application itself. So council today has two motions in front of you. One that deals with the bylaw and the other that deals with the public hearing date.
Thank you, Manager Shaw. Could I please have someone make the first motion? Councillor Wing?
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. I would move that council grant first reading to bylaw number 1470-A82, being a bylaw to amend the land use zoning of property legally described as Plan 922318, Block 10, Lot 17A, and civically described as 5140 56th Street, from residential multifamily district R3 to residential single-family district R1B.
All right, thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Councillor Bates?
Mayor
Oh,
Barclay,
yes, Councillor Dunham.
I do believe I should recuse myself as Sean does have business dealings with the applicant.
Okay. Okay, we will recuse you.
Is that proper?
Yes, definitely. Thank you for letting us know. See you soon. Councillor Bates?
Yeah, and I don't want to move into the discussion of you know, where we'll get to when we do this, but just curious, as when would that have been zoned as multi, because everything along there is single? I'm just curious if we have that at our fingertips.
I don't have it at my fingertips. We can certainly include it at the subsequent reports. It has been R3 for quite some time, but we can get
And then the subsequent question again, and we can wait for that, would be, was there ever a single family on that lot? Would be my other, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we have a motion granting first reading. All in favor? Okay, carried. Please have someone make the second motion for the public hearing. Councillor Bates, Councillor Harrison.
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. I move that council establish July the 8th, 2024 as the date to hold a public hearing to receive input on bylaw number 1470-A82 beginning at 3 p.m. in the council chambers of the town office located at 4943 53rd Street, Innisfail, Alberta.
Okay, thank you. Any questions about that? All in favor? Okay, carried, thank you. Can you, are you able to text Dale and welcome him back? Councillor
I'm back.
Dunham?
Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome, Councillor Dunham. Thanks for letting us know. So we will move now into correspondence and information. And when someone's ready, I'll just have a motion, please, to accept the correspondence as information.
Mayor Barclay, I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Dunham. All in favor? Okay, carried. And we'll move into council reports, and we'll begin with Councillor Hystad today.
Thanks. I don't have a report, but can I verbally do a report? Is that okay? Is all right? Yeah, we were at FCM. We were having too much fun. So I just got a couple questions. I know that the tennis courts has come up as a concern and pickleballing, and I believe that there's been correspondence with our administration to have an upcoming meeting. So as well as I had some complaints in regards to some large trucks being parked at Dane's Auction Mart. So I'll send on those emails to CEO Becker. And then I got a question about downtown leading up to the parade, where there's the space that we rented out with picnic tables and that. Are we gonna start doing anything with that area? And the reason why I'm asking is it's becoming a car parking lot again. And I think that, you know, with our presence there, it looked really good with the picnic tables and that. So that's all I'm gonna say. As to my report, FCM was good. 2 days that I was there, and that was great. Thanks. Bye.
Just in response to the downtown lot, so we did not renew the town's lease of that property for this summer, just because of the sort of condition of the lot with the demolition not fully complete on the other lots. So there won't be the picnic tables and the tent there that we have had in other years until that site is sort of completed.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Maceros is next.
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. I attended the Mayor's Garden Party last week. It was, I'm mentioning to others that it's, I think, my absolute favorite function that we attend as part of council. It was an excellent party, so much joy there. And attended FCM with some of my colleagues here, and there were 3,100 delegates this year, representing 90% of Canadian citizens. It was huge, and it was carried off without basically seamlessly, in spite of what the city of Calgary was going through. I'll have some more to report on that in my written report, which will be submitted for the next regular council meeting. And this week we've got community economic development. That's it.
All right, thank you. And Councillor Dunham.
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. I was able to attend two of the Seniors Week events last week, the brunch at the Innisfil Golf Course, and as well the Mayor's Garden Party last week. That was it for me last week, and I am out of town working this week, so I will not be, unfortunately, able to attend the Community Economic Development Committee meeting this week.
Okay.
But I will see you all next.
All right, thank you. Councillor Harrison.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Barclay, and through to council. And a very quiet week again last week. I'd like to report that RD Mug, we have finally struck the strategic planning team. We've brought them together. We'll be meeting via Zoom on Wednesday to set terms of reference for that planning committee. Really looking forward to it. It's a 5-person committee, and I think it's time that we've stepped up. We'll be attending the rodeo parade this Saturday, and I think that's about it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Councillor Bates.
So I attended the Mayor's Garden Party, which was again a resounding success, and I think a lot of dues go towards all the folks that volunteered to put that on. I attended 3 days of FCM, Thursday through Saturday, and I managed to get a remote vote in on Sunday. I will have a report pending because, yeah, there was a lot there. I will say I found it more valuable than I first thought it would be when I first looked at the program. And of course, not having any airfare makes a big difference in the value. Upcoming, I have the Police and Safe Community meeting this Thursday and the parade. That's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And Councillor Wing.
Thanks, Mayor Barclay. Certainly echo all of my colleagues' comments on Seniors Week. Such a valuable celebration for all of us and very enjoyable, and thanks to all the staff and volunteers that make that happen. Spent June 6th to 9th in Calgary at FCM. I enjoyed it very much, and I will submit a written report for a future meeting package. And this week sees Water Commission meetings and prep for the parade and rodeo weekend. Thanks.
All right, thank you. And my report is submitted. It was just pretty much community events this week. So we will move into upcoming events, 11.1. Just have somebody please make a motion that we accept these as information. Councillor Maceros.
I'll move that, Mayor Barclay.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Okay, thank you. And then we'll have a motion to go in camera, please. Councillor Heisteck.
Motion to go in camera.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?